Smokehouse. It's that urban heat. Shout out to Coach Live.
Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on the urban heat, just calling. Conversations with Coach La 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 La. Coach La 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 La. If you got something on your mind, you can call in, you can hit a line. She the realest, ooh, she the realest. You can tap in, loud, always get a business to empower you, so that you can do every and anything that you want to. Kicking it with Coach LA, it's time to listen to conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on the urban heat, just calling. Conversations with Coach La 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 La. Coach La 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 La.
How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Coach La La La. How y'all feeling on this lovely Sunday? It's rainy here in Massachusetts. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but here we got some rain, and it is not what your favorite therapist likes. I don't like cold weather. I don't like rain. I am truly a summer baby. I love summertime. That's my favorite time of the year. Shout out to everybody who hung out with me at Puff and Process today. We had a great conversation about sisterhood and building healthy connections. And then also shout out to everybody who attended the Mindful and Melanated Strong Black Woman Redefined conference that I was the mistress of ceremonies for. It was a great time. I really, really enjoyed every bit of it. So I have been busy bee. I got a couple more events coming up for October before I kind of like settle down for the month, and then November we're back at it, and of course December as well. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go to the iHeartRadio app and follow the heat so that you can listen on iHeartRadio. You can listen on YouTube, Facebook, or on LinkedIn. So yeah, guys, it's been a busy time in the neighborhood, and I don't know about y'all, but there's a whole bunch going on in the world, and a lot of people are going through a lot of things. So tonight's conversation is all about turning our pain into purpose, having a way of making meaning out of the things in our life that we have no control over. And I think, some people do a great job at it, and some of us try to figure it out, or we can struggle a little bit. But I always love finding powerful stories that help us debunk the myths about mental health, and also can inspire you to push through during some of your most difficult times. So my next guest, I have been, fangirling her for a while. She's been out and about in the community, and a lot of people have seen her and the banner on Channel 7. I mean, where haven't you seen her? She's been getting all types of accolades and awards, and I had the opportunity to actually give her an award this year. But she's hailing from Boston, Massachusetts, and she embodies resilience, compassion. And after a tragic loss of her child's father, Marcus Hall, who was murdered in 2016, she transformed her pain into purpose by founding Parties from Above in 2023. This initiative focuses on throwing elaborate birthday parties for children whose parents have passed away from either gun violence or overdose. Under her guidance, Parties from Above has thrown over 100 parties for these children, fostering joy and community in times of grief. The organization has also hosted 2 successful back-to-school fashion shows for children ages 6 to 18, providing uplifting experiences for those grieving a loss of a parent. In addition, she has ensured that children who are facing hard times during the Christmas holidays without their mom or dad due to such tragedies receive gifts, covering all toys, bringing joy during the holiday season. I mean, she just got a big old heart. She's dedicated to creating lasting memories for these amazing kids, making meaningful impact in their lives and helping them cope with the losses of their loved ones with support and celebration. So without further ado, I would love to bring Miss Shiaka McIntosh onto the stage so you guys can all meet her on Conversations with Coach La. So let me get her mic. Let me get her on camera. How you doing, girl?
I'm good.
It's good to see you.
Good to finally be here.
And to be seen, right? As Jonathan Gates would say, it's better to be seen and not viewed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's really wonderful to sit down and talk to you because I think you have such a powerful story of resilience, of taking something so painful and creating such a powerful narrative and a way for all of us to sort of navigate grief, because a lot of people are experiencing this and don't really know how to move forward. But I always ask every guest this: who is Shiaka? Beyond parties from above, beyond the trauma that you've experienced, what would be something surprising that people wouldn't know about you? I know one thing, but I'm not going to tell them. But what would people be surprised to know about you?
I was a dope rapper.
I knew you was going to say that. I was like, I wonder if she's going to talk about being a rapper.
I was a promoter. I was a manager, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always like into creating events, just creating platforms. I've been doing that for quite a while, quite some time. So a lot of people don't know that. I've definitely created a lot of platforms for people for models to shine, for rappers to shine, for podcasters to shine. So I was basically giving my heart to like adults, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think the same marketing strategies and stuff like that. I just like some of the kids who have talent, I just invest in them now. I just pour into them the same way I was pouring into like rappers or whatever.
So do you still rap?
No.
Why not?
I don't, because I just don't. Everyone's been asked. I've been getting that question a lot. Y'all must miss me out there.
I mean, you know, once an artist, always an artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's in you, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you were a writer and you were performing. Do you think you ever pick back up the pen and the mic?
I don't think so, but I do have some stuff just sitting in a cut that I'm like, I should release it, but it just has to be meaningful. Like, I don't want to just be feeding poison to kids anymore. You know what I mean?
Even more reason why you to make some positive rap.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, like you got more to say.
I definitely
so
have more to say.
think about when you started back then, you were rapping about that experience and what you were going through now.
Right.
But now you can write uplifting raps.
That is true.
For kids.
That is true.
You know, and actually put them on the tracks with you.
That is true.
You have a whole album featuring the kids.
That's right. Because they be like, Auntie,
remember back in the day, what was the, oh God, I know I'm aging myself, but We Are the World, and they had all the kids in the background. I mean, come on now.
Oh, that's
you gotta
fire.
come out of retirement.
Sample that too. That would be crazy.
See, get around Coach. Coach didn't gave you inspiration. Now you about to come. But listen, she about to come out retirement. Listen, the kids need positive inspiration, right? And there's so many young female artists that just need guidance. You know, it's like a lot of booty shaking, a lot of just trash talking, that, right? And just tearing people down and it's like. Yeah, like Mean Girl. A lot of Mean Girl stuff going on.
It's a lot of Mean Girl, Mean Man. Everybody in our culture is just, you know, mean to each other. But then we have a whole war amongst ourselves right now. And it's just easier for people to divide and conquer our people based on the way that we act with each other. You get what I'm saying? In our music. And it's like, sprinkle a little rap in there and you know,
be a little kind to folks.
Yeah,
be a little nicer to each other.
Exactly.
You know? Shout out to everybody that's tuned in from Instagram. Julia Mejia is on here, girl.
Hi, Julia. See, I be having like the city. I feel important sometimes.
Listen, you know.
And Julia has helped She's actually helped. She sponsored the Back to School Kids Fashion Show.
Shout out to Julia.
That is one city councilor that when
Boots
I
on
call,
the ground.
I'm telling you, it's no lie, no
Boots
joke.
on
When
the
it comes to the
ground.
babies, she don't play around.
She don't play about us.
Yeah,
She don't play about. She don't play about her.
And I
constituency.
appreciate that.
Little quick story about Julia Mejia. Julia, when she was running the first time and she won by 1 vote, she actually knocked on my actual door when she was campaigning. Like, I've never had any politician ever knock on my door and ask for my vote. Never.
Yeah.
So shout out to Julia Mejia. We love you.
Yeah,
she did a really dope reel recently. They call her the Cardi B.
She's funny. She is hilarious.
And I was like, she got so much personality. She was like, they think that's an insult. And then she had all her accolades and all the stuff she's been on their necks.
Yeah, so she's doing the back to school, the school checkout the 16th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Nice.
October.
And I'm looking on here. Shout out to my brother Takeover Photography's on here. China Taylor's on here too.
Oh, China, that's my
What's
girl
up, China?
too. China, you know, she holds it down too. She's definitely for us as well.
I'm trying to tell you, the sisters, Black women in general, we just out here making it happen, making things happen.
Yeah. She dropped gems on me that no one's ever told me ever. Like, she schooled me on some real boss. There's just things that we should have way more access to. And it's not that they don't give it, it's we don't know. And then you get someone like her who's just like, she's talking about it so fluently, like it's nothing. She makes it sound so easy to attain. And it is. But, you know, I love China. Shout out to China.
Yeah. You know, you have been such a true light, a beacon of light, right? For a lot of people, a lot of young people. What inspired you? You know, what was that moment that you said, you know what, I'm going to do Parties from Above?
When I was at my real job. So I was outside at one point, right? So
for all those that don't know what that means.
That means, you know,
she was outside, meaning
I'll cuss you out. I was a typical, you know, young hood chick. Like, you know what I mean? Anything a hood chick could possibly do, I was one. Now, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm more relatable to the kids. The young girls, they rather listen to me or some of their mothers. You know what I mean? They'll rather hang with me or talk to me about their issues than someone that's going to judge them, because I can't judge whatsoever. You know what I mean? Because if people nail me to the cross about my past, it's like, you know, so and then, but I stopped all of that when my close friend, she passed. So when she passed, it was like, okay, I could die tomorrow. If I die tomorrow, what do I have left? What are people going to know me for? What are they going to recognize me for? Like, what, you know, how many lives have I impacted? These kids really need me, because growing up, I did have people trying to impact me, but no matter what, I was still bad. Like, I was still bad, and I didn't realize what they were trying to do until now. You know, they seen something in me back then that I didn't see in myself back then. So I definitely and so when I went to work one day, like $750 was missing from my check. And I was like, oh, bad enough. And then I found myself planning some of the parties in the beginning without like literally $1 to my name. Because I was like, I'm not gonna go back to what I was doing, even though I could get money, you know, and then I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna ask nobody for nothing. And then I'm just like, God, I just want to put it in your hands. I want to completely change my life. This is what I want to do. And I did it, and I told a few people my ideas, and a few people, like my friend International Show, he believed in it. He prayed over me. He prayed with me, and he just believed that it can happen, because even him, he didn't go to college, and he's an entire college professor, like, for music. You get what I'm saying? He's the best musician, period, the best engineer and everything. But even him, there was a time when he was transitioning, like, God, I'm going to give everything to you, and this is what I want to do. And he didn't know how it was going to happen, and it just happened. I don't know. I think it's just God's favor at the end of the day. But once I made that decision and left, like, the realm of things, no matter how many people like, you're not doing that, you're not doing that, you're not rapping, you're not you're not in the streets, whatever. It was like, you're crazy for stopping that. You're crazy. I don't want to be lit to y'all. I want to be lit with
God.
Exactly.
So I know that you said also, you know, you lost your loved one.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was a anchor to this, but then you also lost a close friend.
And my mother.
And
so it was like all, and there's a few in between. I'm not even, my cousin Sharice, like it's just a lot of people back to back. And I'm just like, what happens when I go? You know what I mean? And also, I've always thought about parties from above. Like, it's been in my mind for years. So I didn't know much about like nonprofit and none of that stuff, but I knew this is what I wanted to do for kids whose parents passed away. So for many years, I've been like dropping off gifts here and there or doing what I could do. If I know your father got murdered, I'm going to drop off a couple of dollars here or some outfits or something like that. But it wasn't really so focused on the birthdays like that. And then when we would start doing birthdays and Marcus was no longer here, it went from, Marcus, go get that cake for Yoda, go get that cake for Nijon, to like, whoa, no one's running to get the cake no more. No one's yelling at me about how I'm going so over the top for this child's birthday, but still doing it, you know?
Yeah.
So
birthday parties are so important. Like, there's some adults that, you know, I've met over the years that were like, I never had a birthday party.
Exactly.
So you think it's something small, but it really is a big deal. And if you lose a parent, who's gonna replace them to make sure
exactly
that you're celebrated?
Exactly.
And so you're just feeling such a meaningful way of you stepping in and being. We talked about two episodes ago. We talked about mothering the community,
right?
And I thought about you because
they be calling me the hood fairy godmother.
You definitely are mothering the community in so many different ways. I mean, your back to school fashion show was fabulous.
Thank you so much.
And it was creative and it gave kids an opportunity to be seen. And that's going to build so much confidence. They'll never forget that.
No. And I made sure I took them on like a little mini tour, like a little mini promotional tour. You get what I'm saying?
I saw that.
Because I used to rap. And this is what I was doing, making sure I was at the interviews, speaking at the interviews. And these kids, you know, you never know. They really may become like the next big superstar one day, you know, like I'm not doing it for that. And I'm not like, oh, you got to walk like this. When I teach the kids, I'd be like, you could flip on stage for all I care. Do what you feel when you, instead of like doing this, whatever you feel in that moment, you want to do the little Fortnite dance, do you. Whatever represents you in that moment on that stage, that's what I want you to do. And when I tell you they are totally different children from practice to when they get on that stage.
Oh, I can believe it.
Like it's amazing. And even the kids now, when their mothers call me, they be like, when are you doing another one? Because she's still walking around the house dressed up and modeling, or he's still, you know. So, but I wanted to touch on like one of the parties I just did, because this was like, you know, when you do something but the gate just floods open and it turns into something else that you didn't even think about.
Yeah.
So there was a child, I just did a birthday party for him. Unfortunately, the mom passed from an overdose, but the story's really sad. Long story short, he has 5 siblings.
Wow.
Right? His dad is the only biological parent that was able to get the child. And all the other kids are in foster care. So this little boy is 8. And he was asking his dad, like, I want my brothers, I want my sisters. So the dad, I guess when the kids go into foster care, you can't, unless you're the biological parent, you can't contact these families. So he couldn't contact the family. So he called DSS or DCF, whatever, and was like, listen, my son's having a birthday party. Can you reach out to all these different foster families and see if they'll be able to bring his brothers and sisters? So it was up in the air if they was gonna come. And then the day of the party, this was the first time this baby have seen his brothers and sisters
Wow.
since the mother passed, and they was
Wow.
in the home with her when she died.
Oh my God.
And one kid is actually adopted, so like, you know, he really didn't have no
Connection
to get to him, you know. But the other kids are kind of like 16, and one's like a 10, and one's 12. The other one moved out the country, and it's just like, it was so sad. But in that moment, I turn and I see the teenage kid like, I need you to know I really love you. Like, this is what he's saying to his brother. You get what I'm saying? He's 15. And then I'm like, okay, I'm doing a party for him, but whoa, that's 4 other kids I'm gonna have to do a party for, because all of their mother passed. You get what I'm saying? So I told him, I'm like, you're 15, I go up to 16. If you want to party, you know, because I know some kids don't want to party. He was like, I would love that. Oh, so when I do his, I'm gonna make sure everybody could come pop out, you know.
I love this.
So
this is why what you do is so important, because meaning making is just, people don't understand when when you have someone pass away, you don't know really what to do with the grief. And when you're younger, if you don't have a support system to really help you with processing that, you can get really lost in your emotions. So I just think what you do is so needed and so amazing.
Thank you.
So other than parties from above, what else does Shiaka do?
Well, now because of parties from above, I still decorate now. So people actually been hiring me. People actually been coming to me because they know it contributes to what I'm doing. So now that's basically it. And be a mom, definitely. My babies are 19 and 13, but they're amazing. I don't, you know, I might have to yell about like, come out your room, let's go out. They don't want to hang with me like that. I don't know why. I think they have the coolest mother on the planet, but you know, yeah, but other than that, I don't do much no more. I really don't. Yeah. Just get, everything revolves around this parties from above thing at this point. Okay. Everything revolves around that. It keeps me grounded, it keeps me focused. It's my heart, it's my purpose. So I literally just found my purpose in life.
And, you know, the reason why, you know, we're talking about tonight is wanted to talk to you is sometimes our biggest opportunities come disguised as bad news. And to take something so painful, all of those different losses, and you, like I said, they've taken everything and you've given back joy and celebration. So you hosted over 100 parties.
I did?
Yeah, over 100. And that's what you said,
probably,
over 100.
Yeah, probably. Just probably about 100.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's a lot of parties, right?
Yeah.
What emotional patterns do you think you've been seeing and noticed in the children that you serve?
I've definitely, I don't know if it's so much of only the children, but I've seen more of the emotional patterns in the parent, the surviving parent or grandma.
Right.
But in the kids, it's definitely, they've been more joyful. It's about more confidence because that day is so much about them that it's like,
it's my party.
People love me. Yeah. I'm the it.
I saw the little girls' party you posted on your story, and she was just loving every little minute of it.
Yeah.
And they were singing to her, and they did the whole, you know, are you 10? And I was just like, this is so sweet.
So she's actually, that's my girl. So she was one of the models last year. She's still my model this year.
Right.
But she was the model. She made the cover of the Dorchester Reporter. She was the best model ever. Like, right. She can walk. She could teach Tyra what to do. I'm telling you. Right. So her dad was rooting for her last year. He was in our crowd. So the mom knew me for just the model stuff. Had no clue she was going to need me the following year. Do you get what I'm saying? We didn't know. And then she was like, Shiaka, when I found out that's what you did, it was so crazy because we bonded on the model model coach, model mom thing. And then when that happened to her kid's father, I'm like, well, her husband. And I was just like, wow, that was crazy. And that little girl is the one that actually, discovered her dad. So it's like, their stories are just, they're more resilient than me. They're very resilient, but she's very like, all she said was, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Like, thank you so much. Like, this is the best party ever. So,
Right. Well, they say that kids actually handle it often a lot better than adults. But I also wonder if it's just because conceptually they sort of still don't fully get the impact of it on their life. And there's people to sort of fill in for the most part,
right.
But that's not every child's experience.
When it's the mother, when it's the mom, it's a little different. But these kids do have like their little breakdown moments and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I have children who lost both parents though. I've done about 3 to 4 different parties where the children lost mommy and daddy.
Wow.
Or one kid, like she lost a mom, but that was when she was like 6, but lost a dad when she was like 13. So it was like,
oh my goodness, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, like, but whatever I can do to help them.
Yeah. So I think about, this is our next segment, right? We talk about, what therapy, what does therapy mean to you? And, when I saw your parties, I thought about your parties are like therapeutic. They are therapy.
They're therapeutic for me.
Right. And so I thought about what role therapy played in your life, but I'm curious, how has therapy played a role in your life or in the children's lives that you're serving? What does it mean to you?
So I'm going to be honest. I haven't even been to a therapist. I think I went to one and I quit. Right. And I'm one of those, I don't need one.
But I love talking to people about this because I'm not pushing that you should.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different ways to manage grief and to increase your capacity. And what you're doing is making meaning and purpose, and often serving is what I recommend my clients do to be able to fight off depressive symptoms, to fight off suicidal ideation, is to find meaning in the most tragic experiences. And you've done that with parties from above.
Right.
That if everybody could possibly find that type of purpose, I think that's an anchor to be able to give you something to look forward to, because loss is hard.
Yeah, it really is, because for the longest, all I did was mope. I couldn't even function. And my friend that passed, she was more happy-go-lucky than I am. And she would literally, her and my best friend, shout out Dominica and Kima, that's the one that passed, but they would literally come beeping the horn like extremely loud after I told them I don't want to be bothered. But then after they take me out, I'd be like, I needed y'all today. I didn't even know that,
Right.
But I used to be very hot and very like, I don't want to be bothered. Like, people like, hi, Sheik. I'm like, how I know you? Where I know you from? Like, because I feel like, do you know the person that did this to my kid's father? Like, it was just, I was living in like straight up misery.
Yeah.
Regardless of what y'all see, I could dress cute, but mentally, I wasn't a cute person mentally. Attitude, terrible. Energy, terrible. I was mad at the world for something that happened to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they did it. Everybody did it. Somebody had something to do with something.
Right.
But,
understanding the stages of grief, people think it's linear, and it's not. It's cyclical. You have your ebbs and flows, your highs and lows.
Mm-hmm.
But what you've been able to do at this point of your grief process has been phenomenal. I think a lot of people aspire or hope to get to a place of being able to make peace.
Yeah.
Or to find a way to live with it, right? Because the reality of grief doesn't stop.
Yeah.
You just learn how to live with it.
That's true. And now I'm to the point where I'm like, I want to know how to live like beyond my mother's grave or Marcus's death, or Kima's is still kind of new. So it's just like I haven't even got a break. It's like, you
And
know,
those are
event
three
after
really
event.
significant people.
Significant. I was
Right.
with Jakima every day almost.
Yeah.
And then my kid's father since we was 15, almost every day. You get what I'm saying? And then of course my mother.
Right.
And she was a trip.
Yeah.
She was a okay.
Well, I'm assuming you got it from your mama.
I'm assuming too, because she was off the hook. She'd be like, I don't play. I quit school because of recess.
Oh, you know, I tell you, black mamas, black people in general, we got some sayings. I tell
Mm-hmm.
you know, I was preparing to have this conversation with you, and some of the things that really struck me was according to the CDC, over 48,000 people die from gun violence each year in the U.S., leaving tens of thousands of children grieving a parent. And I was like, whoa. And honestly, I mean, you know, these things exist, you know, they're happening, but I think Parties from Above has really also just shed a light on something that only immediate family and close friends are grappling with. But now you got, you know, the news talking about it. I'm talking about it. Just more people to have understanding that we have to, as a community, wrap our hands around these kids. Right. Because if you were angry, imagine what a child's experiencing at school, and the lashing out, the behavioral issues, just a lot of the things that young people experience just from being in the inner city and knowing of deaths, period. It's a lot of trauma that we experience day in and day out, vicarious trauma, you know, not necessarily directly hitting us, but just from being in the communities that we're in. So again, I to do what you're doing is not easy, right? Although it's always to make someone smile, you know why you're doing it. So it's this double, I don't know how to frame it, but it's like a positive and then sadness at the same time.
It definitely is both. And it's crazy because when I had got the news that the guy who murdered Marcus, his case actually got overturned, right? But he's still able to get 12 more years. But I was dealing with that, and still, I don't even know. That was like painful in itself. And then I had to go and make an impact statement to a judge. You get what I'm saying? Like, what I had to look at his murderer, which I thought this man was thrown away for the rest of his life, and then tell him what he's done to that impacted my family. You know what I mean? I didn't speak of Parties from Above, and I want to say a lot more other stuff. But then I'm like, yo, this has been burying me for a long time. You know what I mean? So Parties from Above's only been going on for 2 years. Almost. Yeah, like
and that was 2016.
That was 2016.
Yeah, so I mean, so you figure all that time, and that's why I said grief is not a straight line. Right. Like you had ups, downs, ebb flows, and then eventually you got to this place. Yeah. You know, and it wasn't immediately from the first loss. Right. But it's
but the violence one bothers the most because it was at someone else's like hands. It eats at you a little differently because it was like vindictive, it was evil, it was, you know, whatever. But you know, my mom, it hurt, but I feel like Marcus's was so traumatic that I just be expecting everybody to leave now. You know what I mean? Like, it's like so messed up how I think a little bit. But like, it's just like, even with my mother, so let me tell you, it's crazy. So when Marcus passed, I wasn't decorating or nothing. When my mom passed, she had it's two brothers and me, right? Of course, they didn't know how to take it worse than me, but I had to like really shape up. You get this is, you know, I had to be the boss in that situation. And I planned my mother's funeral. The first real planning thing was my mother's funeral. And then when Jakima passed, I didn't know what party planning entails. So I apologized to the lady that was trying to charge us $3,000 because that would have been a steal. But when she said it was 3,000, I was like, oh no, we're gonna do it ourselves. But when I did it myself, we draped the whole place. It looked so beautiful that people was like, you got a card? I'm like, no, I just did this because my friend, like, why would I have a card? I just like literally didn't even go to her funeral service to decorate for her party. I mean, for her repast, which is like, it was a party. And it was so beautiful. And everyone like, you got a card? I'm like, no, not even realizing
what was happening.
My mother's funeral, I told everyone wear purple and white, horse and carriage. I was going crazy. And even with her, I didn't even cry until the day I had to pick out her casket. You get what I'm saying? That's when I was like, okay, for real. All right, y'all. Okay, God, I get it. Oh, this is serious. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm like, yo, I didn't even realize y'all made me a party planner first. Like literally, I didn't even realize it then. You know what I mean? So,
and it's, you know, it's one of those things that most people, when someone passes, you want to stay busy, right? You need to do something, and I would like to think that planning and decorating, even though it's for a sad reason, it also at the end of it you can smile at it and it looks beautiful, and it's like this is how you want them to be celebrated because it's a celebration of life. They always say funerals are for the living, right? It's for the people that are left behind. But then you mentioned earlier, you talked about legacy.
Yeah.
And what you wanted to be remembered for. What would you say you're being remembered for now that you've laid the foundation for parties from above?
Definitely going to be remembered for balloons. Definitely going to be impacting the whole city of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Like from rap to whatever. Like in all areas. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely going to be remembered for not like judging. I don't judge. Like you could be wherever you at in your life, you can come talk to me. You know what I mean? And I'm going to give you the real, and I'm going to talk to you for real. Like,
I truly believe that our life experiences shape us into who we are. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you are embodying that, and you are a living testimony of that. How have you connected joy with healing? Because people are, constantly saying now, I'm on my healing journey, right? I just want to heal. Do you feel like, I guess the better question is, do you feel like you're healed from doing this work?
When I'm doing it, yes. But still, I have to shake this thing about the deaths of my loved ones. I'm not there yet, fully. I'm almost there. I'm getting there. Because there's times when I'm sitting by myself and me being idle, it's not. I can't just sit like in my home, in my room, and just no. I start weeping, I start crying, I start thinking, overthinking, and So I'm almost there. But when I'm doing the parties, yes, I'm healed in that moment.
Right. So do you think healing for you is the absence of crying and thinking about what happened to your loved ones? You think it's the absence of that?
Yes, I do. Because I don't like to feel, down.
So I wonder, right? And it's such an interesting thing because a lot of people don't realize, well, if you listen to the show, you do. My dad died 7 years ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Right. And I still cry. I still miss him. And at the same time, I think the healing part of it is that I'm over the shock of it now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm over the shock of it, but I'm still sad about it. I still have my moments that I'm sad about it. And I don't know that's ever gonna like go away, that I won't have a level of sadness that my dad's not here anymore. But true. I don't feel I'm not angry. Mm-hmm. I have forgiven him for being mad at him for not doing certain things.
Right,
that I
right.
think
Like
that
most kids, yeah.
he should have done so that he
Mhm.
would still be here if he
Right.
had did this or did that. I kind of have gotten to the place to understand that, you know, his journey was his journey.
Yeah.
Right? And he made his different choices. I think I was angry about that. I'm not angry with him anymore.
Yeah.
But I miss him. Right. So I don't think that I'll ever get to that place that I won't miss him and I won't have be sad that he's not here anymore. So I'm curious about what you see as your healing, but it sounds like you don't want to be sad.
Yeah, I just don't want to be sad. I don't like the dwelling part. I don't like the thinking too hard on the. I don't like it. That's the part I don't like. You know, the Thanksgivings. I haven't had a real Thanksgiving in so long. You know, since my mother left, I haven't had a real like. You know, it's just.
So it
tough.
sounds like there's some of the loss that you've come to a place of acceptance, and then there's other parts that you're still
right.
You're still not there yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I think I'm with you. Like I was just telling my son, I said my cooking, I'm starting to feel like cooking again because.
Oh my God! See?
Right. So I didn't want to really cook. Because when I cooked, I thought about my father and I would like talk to him about like, Daddy, come by, grab this, try what I made. And he would always be my food critic. So it's hard to cook.
Right.
And not have a feeling of sadness. Right.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, all me and my two sisters, we all were in the same. So we cook now because you got to eat. Yeah. But like, I think cooking from a place of like the love.
Yeah. And that's how I feel too. I said I want to start back cooking again. One, I'm just really, really busy. But I used to do that all the time when my kid's father was alive or my mother was alive. You know what I mean? But my mother could cook, so you know. Yeah. But yeah. But other than that, I'm almost there because I'm like, you know what? I'm about to be 40. God bless me this long to be on this earth. Yeah. And I'm still here. So I have to live now. I have to live. I can't continue to live, you know, surrounding myself with that.
Well, you know, I have to, you know,
I'm trying.
Give you some grace on this, and I extend some self-compassion because I think you are showing us all how to live with the grief in a very therapeutic, thoughtful, community-based way. And that's why I wanted to talk to you because a lot of our community is hurting. Even if there's no kids. Right. There's people who've lost loved ones, not always due to violence, but just health issues. Right. We have been hit recently as a community with our brothers passing away like one after another. Right. You know, Ravel, you know, was one of my close friends who passed away. We just been seeing it over and over again. Jeff passed away. I mean, I'm sure you can, John, I think his name was John, the bouncer passed away. Like it was like, boom. It was just like, boom, 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 boom. So we have right now as a community, and that's just Black men that have passed away, probably more likely from health and not because of any violence.
Right. That's true.
Right. That have left loved ones and children behind.
And see, and that's where it's funny you say that because I literally am getting drawn to start doing the parties also for like, I think I'm going to start with like kids who lost their mothers to breast cancer. And then go into things like that because, you know, Bum was very involved in his grandson. You get what I'm saying? So, like, that would be a dope, you get what I'm saying, contribution to him. And he did so much. That the least I could do is throw a party for his grandson if that's ever come up. You know what I mean? Like, that's the least. He did everything for all of us.
And that's what I'm saying. It's just making meaning out of loss and finding a way to cope as a community beyond vices.
Maybe I'll do like a therapeutic balloon class.
Oh, that would be fun. That'd be fun.
Because blowing those balloons is definitely therapeutic.
I just think for me as a clinician and seeing what I'm seeing, I think that we have to reframe how we do grief. There's not a right or wrong way to do it. It is part of the journey and continuum of life.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you think that you've gotten to a place with one, somebody else may pass.
Yeah.
And so you get triggered and you kind of, so how do we learn to understand that we all have a date at the end of that dash, right? Like we know when we were born, our born day is set and we got that dash, which is our life. None of us know when that other date is going to get filled in and how it's going to get filled in. But we do know it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We all have an expiration date.
It's going to happen. And I don't think we talk enough about how to grieve and what it looks like and what's okay. I think in our minds, we think, we're just going to get to this place that we're not going to be sad. And we're not going to be sad. We're not going to be angry about it. But I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think that that's what happens. I think people try to repress it until they get triggered.
I think that was me.
Yeah.
For a long time. Yeah. Definitely.
I think most people, that's them.
Yeah.
I think most people, that's them. So we talk about bet on self moments, right? And those are moments in our life where we take the reins, right? We get in the driver's seat and we decide, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? When you think about your life now, or even in thinking ahead, what's a bet on self moment for you? Do you think you're currently in one, or is there something that you're, about to jump in the rope on and make a bet, but you haven't quite done so just yet? I still think she should go back and rap.
A lot of people think I should go back and rap. Like, I've been getting a lot of people have been asking me to do that, but I think this Parties from Above is going to be so universal. Like, I really,
there's no like, the idea of it. If you think Parties from Above, I always think about these are blessings, right? They're ways of seeing people. When you think about any kind of celebration, is about seeing you. It's about loving up on you.
Right.
And you can do that, like you said, it doesn't have to just be overdose. It doesn't have to just be gun violence. I mean, you can do it for so many different reasons.
Right.
So many different. There's some elderly people who've never had a party.
Yeah. That's true.
Right? They're at the end stages of their life and they have never been celebrated. Right? Or at a certain point, no one celebrates you anymore because you're older.
Right.
So there's just so many different legs that I think it can.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of kids I haven't reached in New York and in DCF. The kids in the youth detention centers. The kids that are incarcerated and they're only 14, 12. We don't know what they've been through in their life to where, now they're being punished literally,
for the rest of
their life
until they're 18.
So
and you like you said, when you mentioned your own childhood, you used that you were bad, and I thought to myself, somebody tells you that, right? Nobody really ever asks why. Right. Why are you showing up like this? Why do you have behavioral issues? What's missing? Why are you angry? Why are you irritable? Just that alone, you have this ability now to have those hard conversations, and that might change somebody's behavior around just because somebody decided to throw them a party.
That's true. That is true. And it's crazy because I just figured out why I was aggressive.
What did you figure out?
Like, okay, so definitely my home was abusive, but it was so normal. Like, it was like, okay, he done punch my mother or hit my mother or whatever, and then we're going out to eat the next week. And, it was just really normal. So, but I also knew wasn't nobody about to do that to me. You get what I'm saying? Growing up, I had to make sure wasn't no man about to do that to me. So then I was just always like the rapper, the aggressor, the rah. You get what I'm saying?
I absolutely get
that's
what
just
you're saying.
So that's where I'm like, because people be like, why you so much like a dude? And I'm like, I'm not like a dude. But then when I look back, I'm like, it was definitely
that
aggressive.
was how you was making sure
dominant.
to keep yourself protected.
Exactly.
Like, who's gonna protect me? I need to have a persona that's gonna make sure that you can't try me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know, one of the things about, I think, becoming a therapist, it helped me to understand myself and my own behaviors, but it also has taught me to have empathy for other people's behavior, and not in a place of making excuses for them. But I think it helps you to stop saying, why me? Why is this somebody like this? You start to step back, and it makes me ask. And that's why I said, well, why are you bad? Right? Like, were you really bad? No, you probably were. Just, once again, that was your coping strategy to keep yourself safe. But no one bothered to ask that. So you just start saying, I'm just bad.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So I think even that is a starting point. One of the reasons why I got into this work initially was to work with at-risk girls. And I took the things that people said were weaknesses or challenges, and I helped them see that it was strength. So she was outspoken, and she was you know, good with numbers, or she was selling drugs, whatever it was. I was like, but you're good with numbers though, so what else do you think you could use that skill for? Have you ever thought about accounting? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Because often it's just no one's talked to them about the possibilities of things that they could do and how they can go about doing it. So they're emulating what they see. That's all that's in front of them until you show them something different, or at least plant a seed.
Yeah.
And I know they would be kind of like, at first, kind of like, whatever, they ain't listening to me, but I knew I planted the seed. Even if they gave me aggression, I already planted the seed. At some point, they're going to reflect on what I said. So I think you have a beautiful opportunity through these parties from above to touch so many young people that AKA could be classified as bad or may go start acting out. But they might listen to you. You might be able to actually turn their life around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's so much I see. I think it's super dope.
Thank you.
Because I don't think we come into the world bad.
Right. No, we don't. Nobody does.
Right?
No.
And I think we got to do a better job with our babies.
Yeah.
Because something is making them upset.
And I don't feel like they have enough grief counseling.
No.
In the schools or nothing. So when the mother dies, how did this kid deal with this at the school? You know what I'm saying?
Angelina Songbird is on here.
Hey, girl.
Shout out to Shotgun Sandy. Sorry about your losses. Larry Porter said, stay strong. Leroy Porter. Thank you, Leroy. Karen Anderson, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. I mean, there's so many people on Instagram. I can't do all of the shout outs because we're getting close to time. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Told you the hour goes by quick. So when we think about the next piece of this is like what we want people to sort of take away from this conversation, and where we want to leave them in terms of, we didn't open them up and we didn't started to share a lot of things. So Coach's Corner, you guys know this is the part of the show where we just kind of reflect on the key moments, key takeaways, and what we want people to carry forward on their journey. If there's somebody that's listening right now that's lost somebody, or somebody that's supposed to be asleep, because some of these young people like my nephew be listening to my show.
Oh, shout out to nephew.
Shout out to my nephew AJ and my nephew Caesar, which he doesn't know anything about this, but my nephew Jordan and my son Rashad, they lost their grandfather, which was my dad, and they were all really young. I think Aiden was like 5 and Rashad was like 13 or 14. So they were young, right? And they still talk about my dad, and they still, even at this age, grieve, right? And bring up Pop. So what's something that you want to share? What's something that you want people to think about as we get ready to close?
Think about with
the process of finding your purpose out of pain, grieving out loud, because ultimately that's what we're doing. Every time you get interviewed, right, the story of how this started comes out, and the people that you lost, and
then it's like I'm saying it over and over, you know what I mean? But it's definitely good to get it out more than you think. Keeping it to yourself is just something that's just gonna play in your mind over and over and over and over and over, and it just, for me, it gets me sad, if I'm just silent and holding things in. sad, mad, all those emotions. But as far as like finding your purpose, you have to literally listen to yourself. And when what's meant for you is truly meant for you, and when God has favor over you in your life, there's nothing that's gonna stop you from living out your truth. It might not be today or tomorrow, 2 years from now, but what is meant for you will be meant for you. And yeah, the storm is temporary, definitely. I don't know. Mine is a little bit longer than 10, but it's temporary. This too shall pass. And it's done. It's a process, and no matter how long or how short the process is, it's a process, and it's a part of your story. It's a part of your journey, and you can turn it into a book. You can turn it into your music. You could turn it into art. You could turn it into media or whatever, so have you.
Yeah, I mean, there is a real truth to this. There's research behind it. It's making meaning. It's called meaning-centered coping, and it's a psychological strategy for dealing with highly stressful situations by creating or reaffirming a sense of meaning in one's life. Serving, finding a way to grieve out loud and understand it's part of the journey. It's a journey. It's not this linear straight line. There's ebbs and flows. It changes, right? One of the things you said is it changes. It doesn't stay the same. So when you're angry, you won't always be angry.
Right.
You won't always be sad.
Right.
Like you said, while you're, decorating parties, in those moments, you're not sad. You're actually feeling like you're healed.
Mm-hmm.
But when you sit still and you think about it, you're going to have your sad moments. Sometimes it's just a song that comes on that'll remind me of my father, and I'll cry. Right? Because I'm like, wow, I remember him singing it, or, I'll close my eyes and I could literally feel his presence, and then I realize he's not here. So I have these moments, but I've learned to be okay and to accept those moments, to accept that it's okay. There's also a phenomenon called post-traumatic growth, and that's community connection, is creative expression, is meaning making that significantly buffers trauma's long-term effects. So what we're all doing, including you, Shiaka, and myself, by creating this show, is that we've made post-traumatic growth, right? So although we've had this trauma, we found a way to be like the roses that are growing from the concrete.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. And I hope and I pray everybody can find a way to help them manage their grief in a similar way, because it doesn't go away, but you can find some solace in meaning making.
Right.
And I think that's what we're really talking about today. Yeah.
That was dope.
I think that's
I like
too.
this. This was therapeutic.
Very therapeutic.
You are a great coach.
And you are an excellent community service advocate.
Oh, thank you.
I think you just are doing great stuff. People, I tell you every week, keep betting on yourself, because your healing has a ripple effect that's far beyond your pain. We, each one of us, are antibiotics for our community, and how we show up and how we love up in each other. We can change the trajectory of each other's lives and the people before us. And it is about legacy. Mm-hmm. At some point, we won't be here anymore, but this show will live on in Meta, social media land. Mm-hmm. People can go back and hear what we thought and see us when we were at our best selves. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how we're contributing to making the world a better place.
Absolutely.
In a minute, we should hear the legal disclaimer, but if you guys have found any of this helpful, keep in mind that you can reach out to me. If you need a therapist, you need someone to talk to, if you are looking for someone and you want to invest or you want to contribute and donate, please follow Parties from Above, and reach out to Shiaka, and she would love to have your volunteer, either
definitely
money or Just you
Choice.
showing up. Hold on.
The Urban Heat. Expect the unexpected. Unorthodox radio from Boston and beyond. Heat981fm.com and iHeart Station.
Do you play music? No.
So thank you, Miss Shiaka, for coming on the show today.
No
Appreciate
problem.
you. Again, like I was saying to everyone, if you are looking to make any donations, you can follow. Tell them how they can follow you, how they can find
It's www.partiesfromabove.org or partiesfromabove _above. Everything is Parties From Above. You can even Google it. I'll pop up. Just Parties From Above, and
you. You're currently accepting donations for Christmas.
definitely.
Always looking for people who want to volunteer because she has setups and always needs extra
Yes.
hands. So if you are looking to give back, if you've lost somebody yourself and you're just trying to figure out how to do that, volunteer. Even young people, you guys can volunteer and be mentors and come to some of these young people's parties. It's just a way to find meaning out of your grief. So once again, Shiaka, thank you so much.
Thank you
for being a guest and joining me on the virtual couch. And I'm gonna definitely be reaching out to you to help you out with some grief counseling and just to volunteer my time. So
yeah, definitely.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. And like I said, keep betting on yourself. And I'll see you guys next week for another virtual couch guest. And yeah, have a great week, everybody. Good night.